Chapter 42. I was sitting across from Wonder Woman with Galatea beside me as the mentor of us both set down her coffee. "So, you wish to reside back in Mount Justice?" She clarified, and I confirmed her question as I made it quite apparent that the solemn posh government embassy style just kept me from relaxing to get any sleep. Surprisingly, she nodded in understanding. "Very well, you may sleep and rest back in your old quarters in Mount Justice. I take no offense, do not worry." She smiled, making the awkward feeling I had for wanting to up and leave go away. And more importantly, in the discussion I had with the League previously, we believe that introducing Galatea to the other Heroes students will be for the best so she can socialize with her peers. Yeah, isolating the young adult Kryptonian sounded like a terrible idea. As the thought of a depressed Kryptonian passed through my mind, I felt Galatea grab my hand and lift it up in a cheer of joy at being given some freedom. Yes. I finally get to decorate my own bathroom. She yelled, and I wanted to facepalm with my free hand at her priorities. But for all I know, a girl having their own bathroom to clutter up was their hallmark of freedom. Who knows? Yes, Galatea. You can have a bathroom to decorate and do with as you wish so long as you don't physically remodel it, which may harm the stability of Mount Justice, to say nothing of breaking through the lead and magically warded barriers between the bathrooms. With the way Diana's face twitched mentioning the warded, lead-lined bathrooms and such, I wondered if there was actually some kind of incident during the Justice Society days or even the early days of the Justice League, because I had to remember that Diana has been an active hero in the world since WW2. "Well, I guess I will help T move her stuff," I said, stretching as I stood up with Galatea being pulled up by my motion and making her grumble as she refused to let go of my arm. Well, this is a new development. Wonder Woman prodded, looking at our conjoined arms with an upraised eyebrow, and before I could even respond, Galatea spoke up. "Yeah, I took Antiope's advice and snagged myself the best man I could find," Galatea said proudly, with Diana scrunching up before she sighed. "Galatea, I won't involve myself in your relationship, but remember, Antiope lives vicariously through other people's drama." Wonder Woman sighed before giving me a look. "And what's your thoughts on this, Jake?" she questioned, and as much as I could, being held in the rock-crushing grip of Galatea, I shrugged. "We made plans to go out on a date after we got back out of hell, so maybe after we settle down in the mountain we can continue that idea, but for now I am going with the flow as we are just working things out," I said evenly, with my mentor nodding. "That's fair, I suppose. Well, I suggest taking the relationship slowly. But should you two become intimate, I suggest you take a teleport into one of the League's secluded mountain safe houses so that the minor earthquakes you both cause won't alarm others," she said with a small blush to her face, while also having a 1,000-yard stare in her eyes, making me wonder who she was reminded of. "Ugh, Diana!" Galatea yelled like a teenager being embarrassed by her parent, and then she began dragging me away towards the Zeta teleporter in the back of the embassy. "Make sure to use protection," I heard Wonder Woman yell as the door slammed shut behind us, and even as Galatea power walked ahead of me, I could see through her blonde short hair that her ears had taken on a pink hue, showing that she was certainly blushing, but the way she was walking ahead of me I was unable to actually see her face. "Come on, Jake. Damned old Amazons being too pushy," she muttered as the Zeta teleporter whirled to life, and with a flash, we were deposited in Mount Justice, with the Zeta teleporter announcing our presence to whoever was here in the mountain. With a ping of my pesquisa, I could feel what felt like the entirety of the team was in the living room, probably watching TV or something. "Well, let's go meet the team," I said as I took over, pulling my girlfriend, or whatever we were, towards the rest of the team. Honestly, I was scared that the team would step on Galatea's strong sense of pride with how they had beat her before, but with Artemis literally being the kid of Sportsmaster, as well as Red Arrow/Speedy being cloned and said clone being programmed to betray our secrets, I was pleasantly surprised that the team as a whole welcomed the new Kryptonian with open arms, with even Superboy being rather chill at her addition. However, there was one not-so-little hiccup that needed to be addressed. "Wait, what do you mean Calder is staying in Atlantis?" I asked, frowning, as my whole idea of canon is going to be thrown out of the window if the team's leader decided he wanted to stay in Atlantis. Robin sighed and threaded his hands through his short black hair before he grunted and continued to explain. "Apparently he found a girl down in Atlantis, and with Aquaman's wife being pregnant and apparently a target for villains, he has decided his place is with the girl and protecting his mentor's wife while he is also studying magic under her. Can't blame him, Tula was a hottie. But I will miss the dude. Kid Flash interjected and then wrapped an arm around my neck as he pulled me down into a huddle beside Robin. But bro, who is the knockout and why was she holding your arm when you came in? He asked, looking between me and Galatea, who had already been snagged by Artemis and Miss Martian for girl time. Jake is my boyfriend. Galatea said proudly as she had heard with her super senses what Kid Flash asked, and hearing that another girl was taken as Miss Martian and Soberboy's little courting dancing around one another was anything but subtle. He drooped over with his arms hanging low as he groaned like a zombie. Ugh. Why are the hotties either insane villainesses or taken? He groaned, with Artemis loudly coughing as she gave him an evil eye. Oh, so I am insane now? Because I have no boyfriend and I haven't robbed any banks in the last few months. Artemis said sarcastically as she put a hand on her exposed sides and practically hovered over Wally, giving the poor speedster no room to backpedal. Honestly, the light-hearted arguing and friendship I made here was what has kept me sane in this terrible universe. So, we got a couple of free days, or do we have another mission coming up or something? I asked, with Wally sending me a heartful look of thanks as I stopped him from getting punched by Artemis, as each time the spaz opened his mouth, she would take whatever he said the wrong way. Yes. We got a mission, in fact, tomorrow night. Robin said, with Galatea floating back over to continue her talk with Miss Martian after staking her claim on me. We will be protecting and making sure peace talks between Northern and Southern Malaysia go smoothly. Supposedly the League of Shadows has been active in attempting to destroy the Peace Summit, but with our last battles with them having brought down some of their best assassins, the League has decided to leave this mission in our hands. Robin explained, and I nodded in understanding. Alright, an easy little guarding gig sounds right up my alley, I muttered as I finally took a seat on the nice couch in the living room, with Galatea flying over to snuggle herself into my arm and her large breasts pressing against my chest as I pulled a thin blanket over us. Alright, everyone kick back for a minute, I got a nice little story about how me and Galatea here raided hell and stole Dracula's throne. I said, with the whole team snorting at my joke, but as I made Galatea's large throne appear in the middle of the room, they became enraptured with my tale.